Hello, boys and girls. This is Imaduck coming at you with another cube draft. Doing another cube Swiss queue. Again, still have not been able to beat the 3-0, although last time I'm pretty sure I could have won. But I made one bluff and one misplay that, maybe one or two misplays in the last match that I think cost me the match. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Looks like this is about to start up, and we'll see if we can build something even better this time. Alright, what do we got here? Well, we are going mono red, apparently, because we have a Sulfuric Vortex, which is the best card in the mono red deck, pretty much the best card in the cube. And that's about all there is to say about that. I mean, if you didn't want to go mono red, Finks is one of my favorite cards, great card, because if you aren't playing the mono red deck, you need to play to beat the mono red deck. Got some other red cards. That's solid. Rite of Ruin is, no, I don't know. I don't build that type of deck usually. Fauna Shaman, Taiga's a decent land. Plague Sliver is nice, except I, again, don't think that this mono black aggro is really a deck. But if you pair it with something else, you maybe have something. But I've tried to build that deck before in other cubes, and it hasn't gone well. Upheaval, if you like that type of deck, is certainly an incredibly powerful card. But Sulfuric Vortex, we're going aggro if we can. Alright, here, we basically look straight for the red cards. I mean, you really want to go mono red if possible. You can, if you get the lands, you can splash another color, but you don't want to go into two colors. So it makes our picks pretty easy. I mean, in here, we don't see too much that's very tempting. I mean, Snapcaster's great, Raging Ravine is great, Revelark's a fine card or whatever. But the cards that go with the strategy we're looking for, Porcelain Legionnaire, Mogwar Marshal, Pillar of Flame? Pillar of Flames, I think we can get. A Mogwar Marshal. I like Mogwar Marshal a lot. I don't know if it's better than Porcelain Legionnaire, but Porcelain Legionnaire, this is close. Yeah, I kind of think that Porcelain Legionnaire is the better card here. And so I think that's what I'm going to go with. Giant Solifuge is a good card, but you can eat, 4 drops you can come by. 2 drops are much harder to come by when you're doing the aggro deck. Wow. And maybe somebody else is going red. So, we can start picking up a second strategy just in case things don't go the way we want. That being said, I don't see anything here that really excites me. Niv Mizzet is a card. It's fine, but it's kind of, replaceable with anything else. With any other big fatty or whatever. Morningstar, not great. Stone, if we want to go ramp again, I might just go ahead and take the stone. I mean, the other option would be to hate this card, which is certainly an option. Especially if we don't go red. So I'm not super impressed with any of the other cards. I'm going to go ahead and take the Felwar Stone and just kind of leave our options open. This is definitely a card, Frenzied Goblin, and I'm still holding on to the hopes that we can build this. Yeah, nothing else here super amazing. If you're a ramp, a Chroma is kind of cool. Profane Command's a good card. It's a good card. Ancient Tomb is probably the best card in the pack. But I'm going to hold on to a little hope, since we, again, have the best card there is for mono red, that we can pull this off. Here, I really like Bit Blast. We need to get some mana fixing for it, but it's a damn good card. And yeah, if we need to go red-black, we can go red-black. It's not ideal, but Bit Blast is very good, and if we can just splash it, it's an expensive card and all that, so it works. But it's nice because it's hard to get late card advantage in the mono red deck. Here, I think Plated Geopede. This card's really cool. So this is one of the ones I was getting beat up with last time. Pretty cool card. I think it's new to the cube. I don't remember seeing it before. Haste Persist costs 5 mana. Pretty cool. But again, we want to fill out our 2-drop slot, so we are going with that. Here, Tangle Wire is pretty sweet. It's not the best in this deck, but it's pretty good. It can just slow down control decks to where they can't deal with you. Apocryphite works well. It's either that or Sinkhole, I think, here. Mortify is a nice card I like. Persecute, it's cute. So I think it's between Apocryphite and Sinkhole here, if we want to go more black. But I think I'm just going to take Apocryphite, and Apocryphite can make its way into other decks if that's the way we end up. A lot of the red cards came back, but that's not surprising because they weren't very good red cards. Taiga we can take in case we see either a Bloodbraid Elf. I haven't seen Bloodbraid Elf. I don't know if they took him out of the cube. Or the Werewolf. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Taiga just in case, because none of these red cards are super exciting. What we want here. Mog War Marshal comes back around. Okay, so maybe the first few packs were just red light. But that is what we're taking. Let's cost sort, see what we're looking at here. Of course, Porcelain Legionnaire, really a 2-drop. In fact, definitely a 2-drop in our deck since we're not planning on running any white sources. But I think we're still on the plan. Felwar Stone does not make the plan, but every other card we've picked certainly does meet this. Although we want to get some of the more powerful 1-drops if we can. Here, Lead the Stampede actually could be good in our deck, but I think I've got to hate the Forge Tender here. Just a bit annoying against our deck. None of these could really make our deck. Profane Command's cool and all, though. Another highly costed guy, but that's fine. And this guy comes back too. Yes, I don't think anybody else is playing red, since all the red cards we saw came back around. So we could have a shot here, even though this isn't the best start other than getting Sulfuric Vortex. This isn't quite the best start I would like, but it's pretty decent. I think Goblin Guide we just have to snap up. I like Rune Blaster a lot, and heck, a lot of these red cards will probably come back around. I like Hellrider a lot, but the 1-drops are the premium. The 4-drop, I mean, of the 4-drop slots, like Hellrider is definitely one of the best, but the 1-drop slot is really the hardest to fill. I'll take, a slightly not as good 4-drop. If I can find one later, that's fine. But the 1-drops are at a huge premium, especially if anybody else is in the deck. Yeah, I like Chandra Naylar a lot more than I probably should. But she's pretty awesome. She, Red has trouble dealing with 6 toughness creatures and stuff like that, so it's really good. It can just help you burn through, can help you in the long game, can help you if they go Wrath or whatever and then you plop that down. She's pretty solid. Better than a Sulfur Falls, better than any of the other cards, except maybe Cursed Scroll. It's close, but I like Chandra Naylar better. Cursed Scroll's probably the correct pick, but, I'm a sucker for Chandra Naylar. When I started Magic, I had some decks that I built with her, and now I'm just a sucker for her, even though, yeah, she's not the greatest. Interesting stuff here. So, the cards we can play. Active Aggression's pretty good. Ball Lightning's pretty good. Masticore I've never been impressed with. I mean, he's not the worst. But, it takes a bit of effort to get him going, and it's easy for them to kind of 2-for-1 you and stuff with him. So, I think I'm going to go with Ball Lightning here. Active Aggression is very good, though, but I think we need more Ball Lightning a little bit more in our deck. Here, Price of Progress. Twice in the, no, that doesn't seem any good. So between Mortar Pod and Consuming Vapors, I think I'm going to just go with the Mortar Pod. Mortar Pod can be really good for late game when you just need to get those last 3 or 4 points of damage in. You just shoot all of your guys at your opponent. Can also knock out little 1 toughness whatevers, mana dorks and whatnot. What we are seeing is a lack of burn spells here, so I think a couple of the burn spells did get picked up. But that's understandable, I mean, because people can play those in other color decks, so I guess that's what people are doing. Ooh, I mean, our high drop spots are very full, but Thundermaw Hellkite seems pretty darn good. So, I think I will go ahead and take that. It may replace one of our other high drops, probably this guy, but okay. Here, ooh, between the Maniac and Lava Claw Reaches. Ugh, so tough. I really want the Lava Claw Reaches, but I think I have to take the Maniac because we really need to fill out our low drops. So, yeah, I think that's where we're going. It makes me very sad, but that's what you got to do. And we get a Grim Lavamancer next. Probably over the Mishra's Factory. I mean, Grim Lavamancer can sneak in some damage late, can be a real problem for a lot of decks, you know, weenie decks and stuff like that. Good card all around, and also just get some damage in early game. Pyrokinesis is crazy good. Olivia's pretty nice, but a huge mana commitment that we're just not going to have. So I think we just go with Pyrokinesis here, especially since we missed the Manland back there. Here we've got a few choices. Rune Blaster, Forge, Mutavault. You know, there's a lot of non-basics now. Everybody seems to be running them, so I don't have any 4-drops, so yeah, I guess Rune Blaster will work here. I think it would be really between that or Mutavault. I don't care so much about a white splash in this deck. So I think that's what we'll go with. Nothing here other than Pithing Needle, which is a fine sideboard card. I'd main deck it in a lot of other decks, but in this deck we'll sideboard it, I think. Don't think I'm going to play that. Don't think we're going to play Slagstorm, although it may not be too bad. And I don't know about this guy. Active Aggression came back around. Still like it better than Masticore. Sure, price of... Ugh. It's just terrible. I think instead I'm going to take an Arbor Elf. Make that deck worse for someone. Could use Relic. Sure. Sure. If we pick up... Well, I think we've seen all the red-green lands, and we have not picked them up other than the one Taiga, so don't think that's getting run. Alright, what do we got here? It's between Searing Blaze and Arc Trail. I think Arc Trail is better. I mean, Searing Blaze is very, very good. Arc Trail is also very, very good. I think Arc Trail is the way to go. Yeah. Good to get some burn spells, finally. So, there's Bloodstained Mire, which could help us out. There's Demonic Tutor, tempting, but we need the Bloodstained Mire basically to run it. Other Chandra is actually very good as well. Maybe she'll come back around? I'm going to take the Bloodstained Mire here, though. Alright. Maze of If is annoying against us. So, Hellspark or Bogart Ram Gang. I think I like the Ram Gang a little bit better. He's pretty tough to deal with. Our 3-drop's kind of filled, but it's okay. This guy's one of the more solid 3-drops. I'm not sure if I'm running Tangle Wire. We'll have to see. I'm not sure which of these guys I like better. Kill some Planeswalkers, or... Yep, the best 4-drop. Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, I think that's going to get run for sure. Bloodbraid Elf is just very solid. And it's sad to pass the Jackal Pup, but I think that is the way to go. Ooh. So many things. I think it's got to be Devil's Play here. Devil's Play is pretty darn good. Double Fireball. Fireball's good in any format. So let's go with that. Rift Bolt I am a fan of, as am I a fan of Marsh Flats, although we don't have any land that works with Marsh Flats. So Rift Bolt or Torch Fiend, I think it's got to be Rift Bolt. We definitely are in need of more burn, so we're doing all right with 2 drops. You know, Porcelain Legionnaire's there too. Kargan Dragonlord, quite good. It's between that Blood Knight and Molten Rain. Molten Rain's fine, but sometimes it's just really bad late game. I mean, it's great on turn 3, but you don't really have a way to fix your draws with this deck. Alright, I'll have to figure out what I'm cutting in a second here. I think I like the Berserker better than Vexing Devil. Vexing Devil, it does 4 damage, if you're lucky. That's all there is to say about that. So, Stormblood Berserker is the way to go. That's how to say. I mean, Vexing Devil is fine. It's not terrible. 4 damage for 1 mana is very good, but yeah. Active Aggression, yeah, I don't know. Searing Blaze came back around versus Urbrask. We have so many 5-drops already. I think it's got to be the Searing Blaze here. We are going to cut way down on our 5-drops. I'm already having problems figuring out what I'm going to cut. Alright, there was something I wanted out of this pack that didn't come back around. I forget what it was, but... Jackal Hops, Ulabog. What am I afraid of here? Wrench Mind, I guess. Ugh. I don't know. Alright, so we get our Hellspark Elemental. So yeah, really nobody in the mono red. So it came out pretty well for us. Be excellent if our Jackal Pup came back around, but I really can't imagine that's going to happen. Ravenous Bamboons could be fine on the side, or Magma Quake. I think I'm more likely to side in Ravenous Baboons. Gamble, interesting card. But I don't think I'll run that. But this card's good. And sure. Alright, it didn't turn out too bad. Alright, so I think I'm going to try this. I just went with the Thundermaw as a finisher. Chandra's fine. Pyrokinesis should probably get run. Let me think about this. I think I'm going to try that. I mean, maybe Tangle Wire. I cut Tangle Wire. I cut Tangle Wire because I'm not always impressed with it. I cut Mortar Pod because we have an okay amount of burn, and a lot of our guys actually have a decent amount of toughness, so I don't feel too bad about that. Yeah. That's my thought. I figure Pyrokinesis is really good, so that's worth playing, I think. I cut Bit Blast. Just didn't want to bother. I mean, even though we can search up search up one swamp or something, still maybe not quite worth it. Maybe that's wrong. I'll think about it a little more, but I think I like this. Yeah, I actually cut Genju. I don't know. I don't know if that's right, but we'll see. It's mono red. It's aggro. We're gonna burn some people. See you in the rounds.